Well, debate day, we have until 5 p.m. Tuesday evening. That's the cutoff, and when we'll know who will make the debate stage on Thursday. Bret Baier is here live with us this morning to talk about all of that and more. It is a big week. Good morning to you, Bret.
Good morning.
All right, some new polls out this morning show Donald Trump sitting in the driver's seat as he heads into this debate. 19% right now with Walker at 15 and 14% for Jeb Bush. I guess, Bret, the real question is who might be at that cutoff point or on the bubble? Perry and Kasich, right?
Yeah, I think, it'll be interesting to see. A lot can happen between now and Tuesday, depending on what kind of polls come out. We have our decision team working on crunching the numbers. It'll be an average of 5 major national polls, and we'll make a decision Tuesday evening sometime. The cutoff is 5 p.m., as you mentioned, Tuesday. So that's the top 10. The bottom 7, though, will also have a debate that same night on the same stage with Bill Hemmer and Martha MacCallum. So all the candidates will be on the stage in Cleveland, just at different times.
Sure.
It's tough. 17 candidates now. I mean, it's a big field.
It's going to be a big moment on Thursday that they're all going to try to clench right there or not lose the lead for Trump. Some saying he's a lot to lose. And if he doesn't, and he does get the nomination, he could be facing Joe Biden. Close advisors to Biden, who are remaining unnamed, reportedly saying that he is 90% likely to run and jump in. So we asked Donald Trump today, okay, if you were facing Hillary or you were facing Joe Biden, what would it be like? And we also asked him about the predicament that the president would be in terms of where his allegiance would remain. Watch.
Hillary was the worst Secretary of State in the history of this country. I think that she is very vulnerable. I think that she is very beatable. I don't think she's very beatable by a lot of the people that are running. My first concept and my first thing is to focus totally on the people that we have. You have now 17 of them, a total of 17, and that's really where my thought process is. One thing about Biden, he's been loyal to Obama, loyal to a fault because so many of the things have been so bad, but he's been very loyal to Obama, and I think if he was going to be forced to support somebody, everybody says the word is that he just doesn't like the Clintons, and I don't know if that's true or not true, but in theory, he does not like Hillary and he does not like the Clintons.
So, Bret, if Joe Biden got in, and apparently one of the things that is weighing on his mind is the fact that his son, Beau, who died, apparently in the final weeks of his life, said, Dad, I want you to run. It sounds like he's 90% in. But who would the president support? Because supposedly back in 2012, the president made a deal with Bill Clinton. Hey, you campaign for me and I'll support Hillary.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think he would probably stay neutral for some time, but would likely, I agree, lean towards Vice President Biden. Overseas, just last week, the president said, I think I could win a 3rd term. Well, that was kind of a pointed moment in who would take the torch closest to what the Obama administration has done so far. And it's the guy standing behind President Obama there, Vice President Biden, one would think. I do think it would change the dynamic tremendously in the Democratic primary.
It's so fascinating, Bret, because when you look at what happened with Bill Clinton, right? Al Gore, one of the big criticisms of Al Gore and his campaign was that he didn't utilize Bill Clinton enough, and he waited till the end to do it, and he ended up not even winning his own home state. In this situation, Obama's such a great campaigner. It'd be so difficult for both of them not to want to utilize President Obama.
Well, definitely. And I think that would be really the storyline for that entire campaign. Listen, if he gets in, and all our indications are he's leaning that way, it shakes everything up. And, this could be why all this talk about Biden this week is also the same week that Hillary Clinton is launching a series of ads. Some people say it's because the GOP is in the spotlight, but perhaps some of this is about, Biden and the attention of him getting in as well.
Okay. And some have suggested one of the reasons she's running the ads is because Bernie Sanders is doing better and better. Yeah. I'm sure you saw this, where Debbie Wasserman Schultz last week, Bret, was asked by Chris Matthews, hey, what's the difference between a Democrat and a socialist? Well, she couldn't really delineate the two, or chose not to. And then she was asked again about it yesterday by Chuck Todd. Finally, she'll answer it, right? Let's watch.
Can you explain the difference?
Chuck, it's always fun to be interviewed by Chris Matthews, and I know that he enjoys that banter. The important distinction that I think we're going to be discussing, I'm confident we'll be discussing in this campaign, is the difference between Democrats and Republicans.
There are some, Brett, who have suggested, well, maybe the reason she didn't say the difference was because these days many say there really isn't much of a difference between the Democrat and the Socialist Party.
Well, listen, the second bite at the apple on the same network, one would think you had some kind of answer that may be different than the first time. The truth is that Bernie Sanders calls himself a socialist, but it's really a socialist Democrat, more like a European social democracy. In other words, not a pure socialist, take over all the companies and fight capitalism. There is a difference, but the fact that the DNC chair can't articulate that difference is pretty striking. And the fact that Bernie Sanders is as successful on the stump as he is also pretty striking.
Yeah, but people are going to ask her until she finally answers, aren't they?
Eventually, she's going to have a better answer than the one she had.
Have to find one.
All right.
Brett,
Bear, great
thank
seeing you.
We'll see you tonight.
Hey, and good luck on Thursday night.
Yeah, are you
We're
going
all
to be
pulling
Thank you.
for you?
Brett, are you
Cannot
going to be
wait.
Brett? Are you going to be watching the debate on Thursday?
I think I'll be there. I think I might be right
watching.
there.
All right.
Thanks, Brett.
Good luck
We
to
are
you.
counting down to it. We'll see you soon, Brett.
All right, Heather.